Testing. Can you hear me?
Stand by there. Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to the Friday night chop session with Stormybman for this October 16th, 2020. And it's Friday once again, another fight weekend coming up on the horizon. And this is episode number 82. I want to say thank you that we're here for another chop session. I appreciate everybody that's out there. We're here to talk boxing, and we've got a big fight weekend ahead of us. That's great stuff. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. So, as we get ready to bring it this evening, Stormybman is here. We're calling this one Loma versus T.O. and more. And as we get ready, I want to welcome, we've got some guests here, some special guests with us this evening. But as we get ready, 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen, I had a little bit of a delay because I was on with 78 Sports TV. Whose show was just before now. That's why I'm kicking off a few minutes late. So we're letting people get a chance to get into the chat, get everybody out there welcomed, and don't forget to smash the like button as you join the Chop Session studio, because we're here. Just one moment here. Let's see what we got here. Just trying to get everything set up, people, because when we unveil, you'll see exactly what Stormy is talking about. And let's see, here we go. All right, and we're back in the Chop Session studio. I've got a panel of guests here with me this evening, and we want to welcome everybody that's out there. We have this evening joining me on the Chop Session tonight. We've got D-Style Boxing. We got G-Funk Boxing. We've got L-Dub, my brother L-Dub. Lawrence Williams, the resident stat man, has finally joined Stormybman on the panel for the Chop Session. And I'm welcoming each and every one of you this evening. So glad that you guys are joining me, and we'll be joined shortly by Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, my co-host. So I just want to greet each and every one of you. How you guys doing? D-Style, how you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm doing good. I got the war paint on right now. I literally just can't see it. Okay, but I got war paint on. I'm ready. I'm about to do war cries and shit. All right. Just Honduras ain't that far from Mexico. It's right there. It's just, a national border. That's all it is. But he's ready for war. Let me just tell you something. He's ready for war. I'm ready for war. There's going to be no prisoners at all after this fight. None. I know there's no POWs. It's going to be a feast for crows for the losers. I can tell you that right now. Neo Fimo Lopez, the one. It's going to decode the Matrix. All right? I just letting you guys know right now. But that's just me getting started. I want that smoke with Reggie, though. I know he's ducking me. They're saying he got out of work and all. That's all good, though. I'll be patient. I'll wait.
All right. And we got the other part, or half, I should say, of HCP in the house. What's going on with you, G-Funk? How you doing, bro?
Man, let me tell you something, Stormy B, man. I am super pumped for this fight, man. I haven't been excited for a fight like this in a long time, man. And I'm just like D-Style, man. I'm ready for war out here, man. I've been doing a lot of talking. The Loma fans been doing a lot of talking. So we're ready. I see that the fighters are both ready today after the weigh-in. Let's get this thing on, man. I'm ready. Neo Fimo is going to take that agent and put him to bed, man, within 8 rounds, I'm telling you.
Yes, sir. I heard that. And then lastly, we got my man, the resident stat man, L-Dub. What's good with you, bro? Welcome to the Chop Session. We've been trying to get you out here for a long time, and we finally are graced with your presence. How you doing, brother?
What's good, Stormy B, man? Thank you for allowing me to chop it up with you. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to the panel, you know what I'm saying? Big fight week, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to talk about it, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it. And as I said before, we will be joined by Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens as soon as he can get to his computer, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a part of the show as well, and I'm sure he's going to be ready for Mr. D-Style, who got his war paint on, and Mr. G-Funk, who got his war paint on, and we're going to listen to you guys. We're going to listen to you guys as you get ready to grill and cook on this weekend's fight. But not just yet. Let's go to the chat for a moment. I know there were people patiently waiting for us to get started. Some of you didn't know that I was going to be on 78's show this evening, but I was on there with 78. We had a good boxing conversation there. We talked about the fight, gave a little insight, our picks and pans on what may be taking place tomorrow night. And I want to say thank you to 78 Sports TV for having me on this platform and sending a number of viewers and subscribers over here to the Stormy B-Man channel. I know that there were subscribe messages and alerts going on before I even got in front of my laptop to kickstart the show. So thank you so much for that. And a special shout out to the LDBC for everybody that's out there giving us support. We got Kano Local Sports out there. He says, let me go ahead and give you this thumbs up before we get started. Chef Boyardee is out there. Focus Ball is out there. Young World says, salute Stormy. Good stuff on 78 tonight. You were talking great, bro. Appreciate it. Drew Titan is out there. Bronx on debt. He says, yes, sir. And thank you, Drew, for posting those links to the channel. Brown on Boxing is out there. Mike 202 says salute Sensei Stormy B-Man. Mark Wunderlich has joined us. He says Utah in the house. Salute Stormy B-Man, my brother. Derek McGee is out there. Says salute family. Underground Asylum. Boxing and Barbecue is out there. He says Stormy B-Man, the Dream Crusher. Okay. Malik Omar is out there. Dahlia Antoinette is out there. Good to see you. Cono Local Sports again says it's working. Sean Snowden is out there. Mozzie Nation, thank you for subscribing. I saw your subscription message there. Focus Ball says a storm is brewing. And G5 Gabe is out there. He's saluting. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. He's doing double duty. He says, salute my peoples. And Boxer D, my brother, the champ, is here. He says, hello, brother. Good to see you, Boxer D. Everybody, if you didn't know that Boxer D is D Collier, the boxer from the 80s, a heavyweight, special friend of mine. He's also in the Eye of the Storm from last Saturday. If you haven't had a chance to check out that episode, please do so. D gave a great interview, and tomorrow he will be back again to finish up, and he's also bringing a friend, former WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver. That's right, on In the Eye of the Storm tomorrow. We got D Collier and Mike Weaver at 2 p.m. Central. Don't forget to check us out, In the Eye of the Storm. And D-Style is doing double duty out there. He's what's up into the chat. And everybody else is saluting one another. We've got it rolling, man. 78 Sports TV is out there, says salute Stormy in the chat. Good to see you out there too, 78. And thanks again for having me on your platform, brother. We are going to go ahead and get into the show. I know everyone is looking forward to talking about tomorrow's fight. But before we get into that, because I know D-Style is ready, but we're going to give Reggie a chance to get here because he might have something he want to say.
There's somebody else looking for Reggie, if you don't mind. It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, if you see Reggie Owens out there, director to the Friday Night Chop Session platform.
Hey, Squirrel, come here, Squirrel.
Oh, you said Squirrel?
Hey, what's this song? Like, come on, you speak to the mic. Go ahead.
Where's Reggie at? I've been wanting a piece of you, Reggie. I'm gonna knock you out, Reggie. Reggie Owens. Let's do this. The squirrel's gonna come back.
There we go.
Oh, man.
Go with it. Go get over there.
I wasn't expecting to hear the squirrel out there tonight, man.
He got a little.
We got the squirrel on the panel too. You better watch out, Reggie.
He got it at hominin attacks, and he didn't keep it boxing, so I had to kick him out. You know what I mean?
Keep that squirrel in the cage, man.
For real. Has he had his rabies shots? That's what I want to know. Yeah, man.
He needs that. He needs that energy. I can't give him those shots. He'll get soft on me.
Yes, sir. But look here, man. As we get ready to, go into some conversation on boxing for the week, let's kick things off, guys, right away. And we don't have to cook on it too long, but we do have to acknowledge it, man. What in the world is going on with Mr. Tyson Fury, man? Tyson Fury, it was reported earlier this week that he said enough is enough. He is going to walk away from the trilogy of a contracted obligation of taking on Deontay Wilder, the former WBC heavyweight champion. And it has been a wealth of information and conversation and rumor and everything out there about this. What is going on with Mr. Tyson Fury? And I'm going to bring it straight to our new guest here for his first time on the platform because we need to hear his voice. L-Dub, what are your makings of this situation with Mr. Fury, who is contractually obligated to fight Deontay, but they're saying that an expiration date has expired or passed, for when the fight should be made or whatever. What are your thoughts on this whole thing with Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury trying to get out the fight. because he know what he did. You know what I'm saying, and he know that the champ is getting ready. You know what I'm saying. I know Wilder been quiet, but you know what I'm saying, it's good to be quiet sometimes. It keep you guessing. So he's concerned about that, in my opinion, and he's just nervous. You know what I'm saying. So he want to get out. I don't understand what's the purpose of getting out 6 weeks prior to the date that they had already proposed in January, at the end of January or the end of February. It's just 6 to 8 weeks. So what's the problem? You got to fight so bad. You know what I'm saying. So to me, I feel like he's kind of nervous. He's trying to do the same thing he did before when he got out the rematch before and have a couple tune-up fights. Because you know guys that, like boxers, they like to stay active and stuff like that. But it makes him nervous because Wilder been quiet. He can't get a read on him. You know what I'm saying? He haven't heard his voice. He don't know what he's thinking. So he want to hurry up and get out. Maybe he found a loophole. Maybe he didn't. I'm thinking he didn't, because we all know about this pandemic and all the situation like that. So he's just trying to get out of it, but it's not going to happen. We're going to see what's going to happen. If he do fight on December the 5th, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be, honestly, I don't even think he's going to fight on December the 5th, but if he do fight on December the 5th, he should honor that contract with Deontay Wilder and still fight him, you know what I'm saying, 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, you know what I'm saying, a year to the date, so we can get that redemption, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, he's trying to get up out of that fight, man, for real.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's something that it is news in the sport, because there may or may not be a fight, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge what's going on. But G-Funk, what's your position? What's your take on this? G-Funk, you there? If you're there, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, my thing is this with the whole situation that just happened. I made this very clear since I've been here on YouTube that, I look at boxing as a fan and as a competitor, and I don't compete, but I'm a very competitive person in real life. So, the way I look at it like this, they had one fight. The fight was even. Fight was a draw. That's the exact same scorecard I had after watching that fight. They fight again. Fury beats him the second time. So, do I think Wilder, should he get another crack at Fury? Absolutely. Do I think it should be right away? For me, I would say no. And here's the reason why I would say no. Is because this is the first time Wilder's been beat, and, he got beat pretty good. So I would say, nothing wrong with going back to the drawing board after a loss, work on some things, tighten some things up, get yourself a tune-up, man, and, work those things out in the ring, and then get in there and fight Fury. I think that a fight in between would do him some good. And who knows, man, if Fury goes after Joshua, beats Joshua to become undisputed, then he's got an opportunity to fight to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So that's the way I'm looking at it, man. I think he deserved it, but I would have him fight somebody in between to get him sharp and work on some things, and then throw him back into Fury, and it might be for undisputed, so it might work out really good for him in the long run,
Yeah, Fury took 2 fights in between their rematch, and sometimes fighters who lose, they need to go and work on something. They need to get something together and try to bring it back, in a fresh suit, so to speak. D-Style, what's your take on this?
Here's my thing with Fury. Do I think he's scared of a guy he already fought twice? No. But, I think Fury likes to do things on his time, and it's kind of annoying. So, to give you some examples, Klitschko gives him a shot, right? And he fights for all those belts except the one Vitaly had, right? Or actually, I don't think Vitaly had him anymore. I think he was retired at the time. I think Wilder was a champ or somebody. But anyway, except the WBC title. Anyway, but a second fight with with Vladimir Klitschko like never happens. In fact, Klitschko they postponed the fights twice, I believe. He ended up having to fight Joshua, and we really don't know. We could assume he would have won the rematch, but we don't know. We don't know unless they get in the ring and actually do it, right? After the first, Wilder fight, the guy got fat, full of cocaine, and he's gone for a while, and then he comes back, right? Like practically brought from the dead. I mean, this like the dude was at the brink of death, and then he comes back for a rematch with Wilder, and then there's supposed to be a rematch, and what happens? He doesn't go for it, man. He gives us two. Even the Wallen fight ended up being close. I mean, it wasn't designed to be. That was a sherry pick that went wrong. That was one of those sherries that got hands. You know what I mean? But so the second fight happens, and what are we expecting? We're expecting the fight again. So what the pattern tells me is that Fury wants to do it when Fury feels, best to do it. And sometimes when you're the champion, when you're the heavyweight champion of the world, it doesn't or it shouldn't work that way. You should be ready to fight the best opposition and defend your status. Forget about the belt. What you're defending is your status as the heavyweight champion of the world. And I want to see him to do it again with Wilder personally. Now, what's in the contract, what's not in the contract, man, I'm hearing so much. And I kind of get both sides to a certain degree. If it's in the contract that he's got to do it, then he's got to do it. I mean, it's in the contract, right? If there is, quote unquote, an expiration date, I mean, I would like to see some proof of that, right? But I will say this. I understand the argument that silence is, I'm going to be honest. I think sometimes guys like to say whatever it is favors their favorite fighters, okay? So since Wilder's being silent, then silence is the way to go. If he was being loud is the way to go. Here's what I will say objectively. I get that he's silent. I'm not saying he has to talk all the time. But can we get some? Can you say, hey, I want the fight? Can you say, hey, Fury, stop running. I want to fight you, right? Not from another source, something like that. I just want to hear it directly from Deontay Wilder. Is what I want to hear. I want to hear from his mouth as a fan. Not that he owes an explanation to Fury. Whatever's in writing is in writing anyway. But what I'm saying is I just want to hear him say something, because while we could interpret the silence in many ways, in many ways. I personally, I want to hear Wilder say something. That's my take, but that's all I have to offer. Those are the two things that I have to offer. One, of course, Fury, his inconsistencies, and of course, Wilder, because, hey, Fury could be fat and on cocaine next year for all we know. That's why I want to see that fight now.
Yeah. You made some interesting points there, and I'll offer simply this. I think that a tune-up fight for Wilder would be more beneficial for him, but there should be a mandated third fight so he could have an opportunity to win his title back in a rubber match. But something has to be more concrete than how they've handled things, and Fury should not be allowed to just drift away on his own path or whatever. It's really shady. Wilder was a champ that had 10 title defenses. You can't just dismiss that. He was a well representing champion. You didn't see him in the police blotters and things like that. He was, you heard about him when he was coming out to fight, and then you didn't hear him when he went back home to his family. So it's like he deserves his third fight. But I do think that a fight in between for him would be beneficial to just get him back in the mix of winning. I remember when Evander Holyfield lost to Riddick Bowe. He lost his undisputed title to Riddick Bowe. He got a new trainer in Emmanuel Stewart, and before a contracted, obligated rematch, he fought a fight in between. He fought Alex Stewart in a rematch with Stewart, a person he had fought, a few fights earlier in his career. And he won a decision over Alex Stewart, got a chance to work on some things and get acclimated with Emmanuel Stewart, and went on into his rematch with Bowe. I understand people in the chat saying, oh, he deserved to run it back. Yes, he deserves his contractually obligated third fight, but there's nothing wrong with him being able to take a fight in the meantime to get himself back on the winning track. You don't realize how much confidence that does for a fighter and how it helps him build himself back up rather than just going right back in against the guy that defeated him, where he could feel a certain amount of pressure to be successful and not be able to be relaxed in the fight like he normally would. Plus, working on some new things, some ironing out some new wrinkles. That has been something that fighters have done over a long period of time. Yes, there have been men who've gone right back into fights, but those fights and fighters typically were more active in their careers as well. These men today, they fight once a year, if that, once every year and a half. It's like, it's really ridiculous. They need to be fighting more often. And with the way these sanctioning bodies are making new rules every day, a rematch might not be guaranteed for a year and a half, the way they're going at this pace. But I just thought I would, open up with that particular conversation because, it's something that should be addressed. I do believe that Fury is looking for a way out. Not like D-Style said, like he's afraid of Wilder or something, just because he's a head case. The guy, Vladimir Klitschko deserved his rematch to try to win his titles back, and Fury did everything in his power to make sure it didn't happen. He's trying the same thing here again with Wilder. So, and these are the type of things that fighters need to face. It's like head on, and somebody needs to be watching that guy so he don't fall off into drugs and stuff like that. And he should be fined heavily if he is, or something like that. So I just thought I would open up with that. But the next thing I want to run right into is you guys better be aware that on the 27th of November, Demetrius Andrade is coming back. And he's coming back against somebody that, I'm just going to be frankly honest with you, I don't know the guy. You understand? But apparently Mr. Dusty Hernandez Harrison has been added to fight Demetrius Andrade on the Jacobs versus Rosado undercard. November 27th on DAZN. D-Style, I'm going to come right back to you. What do you think about this?
So, first of all, if your name is Dusty, they're just going to dust you off. You know what I mean? Let me try this really quick. Hey, Alexa, who the hell is Dusty Hernandez?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Wikipedia.org, Arturo Dusty Harrison Hernandez, born May 21, 1994, is an undefeated Puerto Rican-American professional boxer in the welterweight division.
All right, so apparently Alexa knows who he is, so there we go. That one backfired, you know what I mean? But anyway, come on, dude, who is this dude? I guess Alexa knows. Alexa's cheating. She's in Wikipedia. You know what I mean? All right, Alexa's cheating here. You know what I mean? What are you doing over here? But in all seriousness,
D-Style, you on the road tonight, man.
Let me tell you something. Shut up, Alexa. God damn. She's like, no, she's a fan of Dusty Hernandez, actually. Wow.
Would you like to learn more?
No, I don't want to learn more. Shut up. Yeah, what the hell? Anyway, look, man, at the end of the day, all I could say, man, hey, this is Andrade doing Andrade. That's all I got to say. I mean, this is a horrible fight. You know, nobody wants to shit.
I have the sounds for free for 1 day. Would you like
Well, those are my thoughts.
Oh man. All right. G Funky, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I think you know what's coming, Stormy, and I'm gonna have to say it here, man. But this fight is dumpster juice, man. This is terrible. This is not even. Again, this is the reason why I say things are dumpster juice, man. It's fights like this, man. This is not even the garbage that's in the dumpster. It's the juice that leaks out at the bottom when it's been sitting there for a week in the middle of a hot summer. You know, like
and
this
it's
is terrible, man. Yes. Badly. This is terrible, man. You know, Andrade, he's got to get busy, man. They got to get him in there with somebody at some point, man. This is just terrible. Man, I don't even really know what to say other than it's dumpster juice. I don't want to see it. It's a throwaway fight to me. And Andrade, you got to get busy, man. You're starting to run out of time, bro.
Wow. This, you know, I don't really have much to say on it, but I do want to hear the panel talk about it because it's here. And now we've finally been joined by my co-host here, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. So I'll go ahead and salute Reggie and bring him on in and ask Reggie for his thoughts on this travesty of a matchup here. What's going on, Reggie? How you doing this evening?
Good. What's happening, my peoples? Man, this Andrade thing, it's another waste of a career. He's doing the most tragic shit ever that I've seen a modern, supposed to be hungry fighter do to his career. This ain't the doings of a promoter. Where we see promoters put a lot of guys' careers on hiatus, sit them on the shelf. This dude is doing personal shelf sitting with the level of opposition he's doing. He got other cats he can fight. Now, for this move, him to bounce up to 168 to not challenge up there, and then right after this, he's going to go back to 160. This shit makes no sense. It's like he ain't even trying to campaign at this. At least if Canelo do all this bouncing around, he campaigns for a championship. Andrade ain't doing nothing. Then he falls back to being on the undercard of a Danny Jacobs versus Rosado. And how is Rosado fighting Jacobs? Last time I remember, they had Rosado fighting in the empty arena. So now Demetrius Andrade relegates himself to an undercard fighter against somebody who's unknown. And even looking at the history of Dusty. Dusty is a cat who fought as a welterweight. And then he stepped away from the sports for like 2 years. When he comes back, he's been bouncing all over the weight classes. He comes back to fight at like 168 or something like that. Then he goes to 170 in his last fight, and in this one he's coming down to 168. So the dude all over the place. He ain't serious about the sport. And now this champion who decides he ain't gonna take no challenges at 160 decides he wants to fight this guy. Andrade is becoming a joke of the sport. He's a dude with super talent, and that talent, from what I've been seeing in his last 2 fights, is started to diminish. And his attraction to the sport is diminished. If you remember his last fight, he fought in that makeshift arena during Super Bowl weekend. That still caught no attraction. They fought as a prerequisite. I don't even know what to call it, but they fought like a day or so before that. The internet fighters fought. He couldn't even fight on the main card of that. They put him on like a Thursday or something. Nobody watched it. The venue had nobody in it. These dudes they rented mobile homes to use as trailers for the fighters. It's just everything with this dude is trash. They try to bring him home in a fight before that. The crowd end up down there booing him, down there falling asleep. He's not an attraction. He's a waste of high-level fucking talent. So I think nothing of Andrade, man, but just, man, it's just sad to see the brother do that to himself. But that's all I got.
Yeah, it's really crazy, man. It's crazy. And L-Dub, welcome again, bro. What are your thoughts on this with Andrade taking on this guy that nobody knows, not even Lexa? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking Andrade should fight Jacobs on the card, and Dusty should fight Rosado. You know what I'm saying? I see what he's doing, but you know, like you was saying, Reggie, that he's not getting no traction and whatever. But I feel like he done talked himself into this situation and put himself in this situation a lot of times. Although I like Andrade as a fighter and his skill set, it just seems like he's just like nobody really cares about him. And I think he is a tough matchup for the top guys at 160. But, you know, if you're going to fight this guy, you can't sell this to us, to the fans that want to see you in bigger fights. Now, I know right now at 160 and 68, the top guy's not going to fight him right now, so they're unavailable. So I understand him staying active, but I don't like the opponent. If he was fighting, I wouldn't like other opponents, but I can live with like somebody like Willie Monroe or maybe David Lemieux, somebody like that we know of at least. But you talking about a guy that's just getting back into the sport, and you know, nobody knows him. So to me, it's just a waste of a fight or of a TV slot to me. Now it's just I don't know what he's gonna do from here, because you can't say I beat Dustin Hernandez and then now I gotta call out Canelo, or that you gotta give me the Triple G fight. Like, you gotta do more. Like, to me, I'm thinking he should do everything in his power to get that Charlo fight. These guys been based on the same schedule for the last 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? That's the natural fight to me. But, you know, if he's going to keep doing this to himself, you know what I'm saying, that's on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you made a very good point there where you said that it should be Jacobs and Andrade fighting each other on this card. That's the fight. And why aren't they doing this? It reminds me of well over a year ago when we had Jamal Charlo and Triple G arguing over the fact they were vying for the services of Brandon Adams, remember? And it was like both of them wanted Brandon Adams, but they were free to fight each other. It's like, why are you guys trying to fight a dude who's not really even on your level when you are on one another's level and you should be fighting one another? And I know that was more probably Triple G than anything that didn't want to make the fight. But my goodness, it's like, when are these guys going to stop doing that? It's like, you ever seen certain fish that swim in an aquarium? They don't get close to each other. They when they get almost in the vicinity, they like, you know, turn away from each other really fast. That's these fighters, man. They should be facing one another instead of avoiding one another. And it's really sickening. You know, when we see this happening over and over and over again, it's like, man, these guys do not want to mix it up, man. It's ridiculous. I want to take a quick moment to acknowledge we had Dark Truth in the Cash App. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your donation to the channel, man. Everything helps us grow and get better in what we're doing here on the Stormy B Man channel. Appreciate that. Fellas, let's go right on now into a conversation that we all are really here and prepared to have. And that's the conversation talking about the big fight this weekend, because I know D-Style, he let me know that he was pressed for time. So we can go on and get into this. I think it's something that everybody want to talk about, you know, and in case somebody been sleeping under a rock, you know, this Saturday, tomorrow evening, we got the big fight that's taking place for the championships between Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. These guys are going for all the marbles against each other, man, and a unification match. I want to know how everybody feels about this, and we're going to start off with G Funky. I'm going to hold D-Style back just a little bit because I think his war paint ain't dry yet. So we're going to go with G Funky first. What do you think, G Funky, about this fight, man? We're going to open it on up and you say what you feel, man.
All right. Well, like I said in the opening, man, I'm real excited for this fight. This is a great fight. This is for lightweight supremacy, you know, and you know, I've studied this fight a lot. I've talked about it a lot on YouTube since it's been announced, and for one day away, man. And I just can't wait. I see, you know, there's a few questions here that I have for both guys. Obviously, we know Lomachenko is the favorite, and a lot of people are rolling with Lomachenko, and for good reason. You know, he's got the experience on the kid as far as the amateur record goes, and of course he's been in there with better opposition so far in their pro careers, even though they've both had the same amount of fights. But you got to give Lomachenko that edge. But Lomachenko, to me, since he's been at lightweight, things haven't been so Matrix-like for him there. He's still winning fights, don't get me wrong. He's still collecting belts. But while he's doing that, we see guys touching this guy up pretty regularly. Let's start off with the Pedraza fight. The guy, if you go back and look at his face after the fight, he looked like he fell down a flight of stairs. This guy's face and his head was all swollen. And that didn't happen for no reason. The man was getting hit plenty in that fight from Pedraza. We go to the Linares fight. Linares, before he even knocks him down, was hitting him with plenty of shots. Single shots, combination shots, shots to the body. Dropped him at the end of the 6th round. But credit to Lomachenko. He's a tough guy. He gets up and, he fights back. Same thing in the Luke Campbell fight. Luke Campbell giving him some trouble, hurt him to the body in that fight. But if either he recovers quickly or it's just a part of his mind games to come right back right away when he gets hit and when he gets hurt. And, that's something I really like about Lomachenko, man. He's a fighter, man. You hit him with something, he tries to come right back and jump on you right away. I really like that about him. But what I see with Teofimo is this kid is very explosive. He's quick and he's got power, man. I know, Stormy, you've been around a lot longer than me, man. You've watched a lot more boxing than me, but I can't recall a lightweight doing this kind of damage that he's doing, man. With single shots, he's hurting guys badly with single shots. This kid's got tremendous power, man. I think from what we've been seeing from Lomachenko at 135 and what we've seen from Teofimo, I think it's a recipe for disaster for Lomachenko, man. And I know people have questioned Teofimo in the past. We've had guys say things about how he's fragile upstairs. After the Nagatani fight, he went 12 rounds with that Japanese kid. But guess what? He comes right back in his next fight and knocks out one of the toughest guys in the division, Richard Comey, in 2 rounds. So I think he's cleared all that up, man. And I think he's got the speed, the timing, and the power to catch Lomachenko with something, man. And I don't know if Loma can take the power, man. If he can, it could be a long night for Teofimo. I just don't think he can, man. I think he's going to get hurt, man. And I'm taking Teofimo by knockout, man. And I got money on the line, too, man. So, damn it, you better get the job done, Teofimo. Let's go.
Well, let's take it back a tad, brother. Since you said I've been around, yes, you're right. I have been around for a little while, a little bit long in the tooth, but no tooth decay. Okay, now let me share something with you. There's a name of a guy, Roberto Duran, huh? That's a guy whose name that people know out there. This man was a destroyer out there in the ring too. He's a hell of a body puncher. He didn't like to always knock you out by hitting you on the chin. Roberto Duran liked to beat you up, huh? Hurt you, huh? Just ask some of the guys that he left in his wake, like Buchanan. He fought a guy named Leonard. I think you know that guy. He fought a guy named Moore and Barkley as he moved up. But at lightweight, he was definitely putting hurt on people. Then there was another gentleman by the name of Aaron Pryor, who had bombs in both hands. Matter of fact, he made Alexis Arguello sit on the canvas, look at the referee as if to say, you can count to 1,000 and I won't get out of here until everybody is gone, especially that guy across the ring and the janitor. Okay, so that's another fighter. And then, if you still haven't heard of a gentleman by the name of Julio Cesar Chavez, who came up from those lower divisions and went right through there and was cutting through guys like a hot butter through knife. He was doing those kind of things. And yet even still, there was another gentleman by the name of Sugar Shane Mosley. Okay? Came up through the same division, brutalizing people, came up with the term of power boxing, when he was in his heyday, because he was just like Sugar. He was so sweet at what he was doing to the opponents that he faced night in and night out, that it could not be overlooked. So I think you should go back, because I'm not going to give you a complete grade on your statement at this time, G-Funk, but you can go back and study the lessons, and you'll see from the films for yourself that Stormy B-Man is right on the money with that.
Oh no, I agree with that. Those guys.
No, you said you had never seen. You said you had never seen. But I'm asking you. I'm asking you here to don't step on your history books, or in this instance, your films. Go back and watch them.
Oh yeah, I've watched a lot of Duran, Chavez. I mean, I was a big Chavez fan as a youngster.
I didn't ask if you were a fan, brother. I asked you to go back and study, because what you said, it was your statement that you said you had never seen. That was your statement.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen somebody at that lightweight division like hit guys. I mean with like single shots.
But look at who he's been hitting, brother. Look at who he's been hitting. He hasn't been hitting guys on his level. He's been hitting guys beneath his level. Okay?
I would disagree a little with that.
Yeah.
I would say because
I've said it completely through this week. I've said he's been in showcase fights. And if you think that Comey was a real champion, then we know how diluted championship caliber fighters are today. That's not something to measure it by.
Champion. Huh? I mean, here's why I give him a lot of credit for the Comey fight, because after the fight with Nagatani, there was a lot of people picking Comey to beat him. People weren't exactly sold on Teofimo at the time. He had to make believers out of a lot of people. So, I mean, I think we got to give him credit for that one at least.
Let me back up for 1 second. I want to say this. I want to say this to everybody out there. I'm not trying to grill G-Funky. I'm not trying to do it, because I respect G-Funky. But what I'm trying to do is basically put information out there for G-Funky as well as the chat and everybody else on the panel. Please don't step on the history of the sport. There are fighters out there who were great that people don't even think about. That's just like people talking about Vasily Lomachenko being the best since Ali or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculous when you don't. I mean, just because it was yesterday doesn't mean it didn't happen. You know what I mean? And it's like, because somebody is here on the scene today, that doesn't. Listen, it's just like a man born of someone. It's like, he's another man's seed, right? He ain't the first. He came by way of someone else. So that's the point I was trying to make. And
it's all good, bro. We've had plenty of discussions about these type of things. And I'm just saying, from a single punch, I haven't seen many lightweights do these type of things to guys. Like I know Chavez is a guy, he could hurt you over time during the fight, and like you said with Duran, like to punish guys, and not that he couldn't in a fight with just one shot, but I mean, Teofimo, to me, like his quick strike and counter ability and the way he hurts guys, man, it's crazy at this vision, man. I mean, I
was Shane Mosley,
crazy, man.
So was Shane Mosley, though. He was doing the same thing. He really was.
Yeah. Oh, I seen a lot of his fights. Like, I had a cousin who was a big Shane Mosley fan. He had tape after tape. I mean, we watched plenty of footage on him at lightweight. So, I mean, yeah, Shane Mosley was a monster at 135, man.
At the end of the day, Loma's never seen a puncher like that. How about that? Let me know when I'm ready to go right now.
Okay, let's bring D-Style on in, because he's gonna burn through his seat if we don't. Go ahead, D-Style. Cook on what you got to say about this.
In the Matrix. He's working for the Matrix right now. It's all good. You know what I mean? I'm just playing, but check it out. Okay. And let me tell you guys something right now, and I want you to listen to me really closely. I want to talk showcase fights. That's all I see Lomachenko fights is Gary Russell. That's it. Oh my God, he might lose this fight. Said no one for the last 6-7 fights of Lomachenko's career. Nobody. No one. Nobody thought Campbell was going to beat him. Who thought Campbell was going to beat him? Raise your hand and tell me, oh, yeah, I totally thought Campbell, the guy that lost to Linares, was going to beat him. Oh, yeah, I totally thought Linares was going to beat Lomachenko. Said no one. All right? No one. No one said that. Oh, Batista, he knocked him out after going to war. Yeah, he went life and death with Linares, a guy who Cesar Pablo Cano knocked out in the first round. Cesar Pablo Cano happens to be the guy that Eric Morales beat to win his 4th world championship 10 years ago. Okay, and he was a half-picked opponent. I can tell you that right now. Look, Teofimo Lopez packs power. Who cares about the semantics of it? If someone in the past has done it before. No one in this era, in the last 10 years, at lightweight, has been able to punch like that with both hands. He has single punch knockouts with the hook, single punch knockouts with the right. He destroyed the southpaw he faced in Diego Magdaleno, a top 10 lightweight that I would put up there with Linares and Campbell all day. I'll put him up there. And he dominated him. What's the best weapon against a southpaw? Right hand. If you look at Lomachenko, always in that center line, and he moves to both sides, the right and the left. He's going to open himself to both the left and the right hand of Teofimo Lopez. This fight, it's a lot like that Marcus Pacquiao, that in and out guy. I keep hearing about the tempo of Lomachenko, the tempo he's going to bring to this fight. All he's got to do is wait for him. That's it. You know how he knocked out Comey? He just timed that little bounce step he was doing. That's it. I was calling the fight live. I said, whoa, he almost hit him there. In the first round, he timed that second round, he hit him. This is a home run hitter is what we're looking at right now. I'm not going to sit here and debate whether this is the best home run hitter of the history of baseball or boxing, right? He's a home run hitter. It doesn't matter if there's other guys that have hit the ball harder. Home run's a home run. And he's going to knock this dude out. He's going to knock him senseless. He doesn't have to do a one-punch knockout. It could happen, but it'll be the beginning of the end. He's never been hit by a guy like this. You might as well, like you guys, have you ever seen those memes where it has all these different squares and it says, well, my wife sees what I see, what my neighbors see, and all this other shit? And you guys, like, some people, like, they have a picture of white Jesus, and that's what they see when they see Lomachenko. You know what I mean? Some people see the Matrix. You know what I mean? Some people see a bum in the streets. I see a battered wife. They're putting hands on him like a battered wife, right? Putting hands on him. Campbell put hands on him. Linares put hands on him. And old boy from Puerto Rico, help me out here. I forgot his name. Damn. Puerto Rican fighter.
Pedraza.
Thank you. Pedraza put fucking hands on him. All right? Pedraza put hands on him. Now, he won the fights. But you could tell he was in a fight. His face was all marked up. He can't afford to take those punches from Teofimo Lopez. His margin of error has drastically dropped. That's what's happened. This is look, he's younger, he's bigger. In my opinion, the hands, some people have said faster. I'm not sure about that, but it's comparable. It really is. And sure, Teofimo Lopez, you know, Lomachenko has better footwork than him. Just because he's not doing the river dance while they're boxing doesn't mean he doesn't have footwork. Right? He does the pivots he needs to do. He does what he needs to do in that ring. He's going to let Lomachenko come to him, just like Marquez let Pacquiao come to him. And I want to ask everybody knows, what was the weapon that Marquez used on Pacquiao, fight after fight after fight? And I want to remind you, in those fights, Pacquiao was the puncher. It's the opposite this time. He is going to knock this dude out, right? You see, I got my face paint on right now, right? Y les digo ahorita, La sangre de Lomachenko. And I know that put fear in you motherfuckers. Okay? I know it did. Hace la sangre, vamos a sacar el corazón. So we're going to take out that heart. He's going to take out that heart. He's going to eat it in front of his dad. Is what he's going to do. You heard me? He's going to take out his son's heart and eat it in front of his dad. This is war. I want blood. Okay, people talk about you got to respect. Put respect in Lomachenko's name. No respect. How about you beat the respect out of him? You want respect, old man. Calling him an old man at 32 years old. Okay, I guess they're old. He's not old. He's just fighting bigger men. That's it. Okay, he's going to rip out his heart, eat it in front of his dad is what he's going to do. All right? This is war. I'll tell you guys right now. There's going to be no POWs after this. It's going to be a feast for crows for the losers. And I know Lomachenko fans are nervous. I could sense that energy. I know it's there. I know you're nervous because you know everything I'm saying is true. Even the shots he blocks, even the ones that hit his shoulders and his elbows, it's going to tire out his arms. Those are big power shots he's going to feel. Even the ones he blocks with his guard, he's going to feel that. He's going to feel that impact. I wouldn't be shocked if it moves him. He's going to feel some. Because you know what he has? He has tenacity, but he also has, and you know what you need? Okay? Audacity. He has the audacity to look at this guy in the face and say, I don't give a fuck that you're a 2-time gold medalist. I don't give a shit. I'm not in awe. I'm not just happy to be here like Luke Campbell and Linares who spoke all these great things. Like, oh, it's an honor. It's an honor to be in the ring with who gives a fuck. Show him all the respect and thank him for the fight after you knock his ass out. Okay? This is it, man. Okay? Yeah, the war paint's going to wear off after the fight. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to put the war paint back on with his blood. Okay? I want blood. I want blood like my ancestors. Blood. That's what I want. This is war. That's what I got to say for now. That's what I got to say.
Reggie, do you have something to counter that with?
All that WWF shit y'all talking about. Gasoline. They ain't doing none of that shit. Let me go back to some of the shit y'all talked about. You shit about Magdalena.
That ain't true. Tell me what.
Let D-Style, let him talk. Let him talk, D-Style.
WWF shit y'all got going, Hulkamania shit for Tio. Tio fighting for his father for once. Tio ain't want this fight. His daddy barked him into this damn tree. And this is what he's getting. And one thing, you see the difference in energy when it comes to Tio. He talks all this behind the fence shit. The minute he gets in this vicinity of Loma, all that shit became deflated. I love how Loma walked up on him, crossed up under the guard, walked right to this young kid. But going back to some of these fights, people talk about Loma going through this and that with not with Magdalena, but Pedraza. From what I remember Loma bringing the fight right to Pedraza, a taller fighter, never complained once about it. Brought the fight right to him, almost finishing him, dropping him twice in that fight. This is the damn calculated shit that Loma does, systematically breaking this guy down, making him miss, doing great fluid type shit. I don't buy into all the hype that ESPN put behind him. Then you go into, what's the other fight you brought up? Linares. From what I remember, he broke Linares' ass down. Linares caught him with a shot. It did nothing to him. That's almost like where people celebrate watching basketball games where a team who is down by 50 points get a player that dunks on somebody and everybody running around like a chicken with their head cut off because they watched the dunk. But you watch the damn knockout to conclude shit. That's what Loma has done. Loma is so systematic with the pressure, with the offense. Lomachenko relying on, not Lomachenko, but Tio relying on left and right hooks, jumping up with hooks on opponents who stand in front of him. He had to go real deep against Magdaleno, who he should have been got up out of there. Magdaleno sitting right in front of him. Come on. Dude sat there looking punch drunk. I don't see nothing that Teofimo's going to do in this fight. I see Lomachenko going in here, boxing him, frustrating him. And also, but before I go into that, let me just speak about the thing with Lomachenko. Lomachenko has made how many fighters quit? He made quite a few, right? Then going into this thing with Tank Davis, who people view as probably one of the best lightweights that is out there. And we remember what Floyd did. Floyd can observe this damn division. He can observe this sport. Did he want to throw Tank Davis up in there against Lomachenko? I don't think so. And he did it for a damn reason. And when he got into an issue with Tank Davis, what was the threat? To throw Tank Davis in there with Lomachenko. Tank Davis know about the ass whooping he'll receive from Lomachenko. So the threat is there. This young dude is a bad dude. He ain't no white Jesus or none of that shit or another greatest of all time. But what he does against this caliber, this era of boxers, it ain't nobody up there. And Teofimo's showing the hell ain't that dude. And then going in here thinking he's not that much bigger than Lomachenko. I don't think he's that much physically stronger than Lomachenko. He's going to be in here needing to really put up a fight. Trying to score one left hook, one right hook, I don't think so. And ultimately, the way I view this thing is possibly Teofimo being pulled out of this fight. And it's definitely going to be a Lomachenko victory regardless. But I'm also throwing the damn stoppage on there for Lomachenko as well. But I'll pass it around.
Yo. Wait, D-Style. Hold on. We got to hear from L-Dub. What's going on, L-Dub? I know it's been a minute, bro, because these guys have been going. What do you have to offer? Your thoughts on this fight for tomorrow night?
Oh man, it's all good. I mean, this is the biggest fight of the years, you know what I'm saying, other than Wilder and Fury. So I've been looking forward to it for a long time. I love the matchup. I think this is a dangerous fight for Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying, because he never fought a guy as athletic and a bigger puncher than this. You know what I'm saying? And plus a bigger guy. So I really love Teofimo's athletic ability. And I think he got a little bit more in the tube bag that he haven't really showed. But the thing that give it for me, I got Lomachenko by decision. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because I think Lomachenko, when he fight these guys at 35, all the fights that he had at 35, except for Corolla, has been 50-50 into the last 3 or 4 rounds, championship rounds per se. That's when he turned it on. I think it's going to be a tactical fight. I think Teofimo going to have Lomachenko tentative, that he's not going to be able to do all the angles that he want to do because that right hand going to be coming out quick. Teofimo is an excellent counterpuncher. If Teofimo can stay off the shoulder roll and keep his left hand active, I think he can catch Lomachenko with the left foot coming in. But when he allowed the ring generalship and the tactics that Lomachenko do, Lomachenko's tactics going to keep him in the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's going to be wary of the power. But I think probably the 10th round, he's going to turn it up. He's going to win a close decision. That's my breakdown of the fight.
All right. Okay, now D-Style, throwing it back to you, brother. What were you about to add?
Yo, how many he hasn't made anybody quit at lightweight, last I checked. You know what I mean? That's number one, Reggie. Second, slipping all the shots. Did you really just say that? He slips all the, did you not listen to what I said? They were this was a battered wife in his division, bro. They're putting hands on him every single fight. This dude ain't slipping everything like that at all. You know why? Because he stays in the pocket too long. Okay, he stays on the center line too much. He always stops in the center line to throw punches and combinations almost every time. Go back and watch the film. He hasn't fought anybody that could keep up with him in hand speed when it comes to that. Also, this Linares thing, he was hurt when he got knocked down. That was not just some, off balance. He got caught in a bad angle and he went down. No, he got his ass. You know what they say? They call it in Spanish, lo sentó. Right? He sat his ass down. He told him, sit your ass down. All right? Many people had Linares up in that fight. It was a close fight. And then you know what he did? He caught Linares with a body shot. He knocked Linares out. Oh, everybody. He beat Linares by knockout, everybody. Okay? You know who else beat him by the knockout? DeMarco. You know who else beat him by knockout? Okay? Salgado. You know who else beat him by knockout? Right? DeMarco. I mean, come on. Pablo Cano, I meant to say. This dude's getting hit every fight. I heard your voice trembling, Reggie. I heard the nervousness in your voice at the end of the day. I know you don't believe what you're saying. I know that when I'm saying what I'm saying, Reggie, I know you feel it. I know in the deep down the back of your mind, you're like, fuck. That's a good point. Yeah, that's right. That dude was putting hands on him. Man, this dude was putting hands on him. The margin of error of Lomachenko has dropped dramatically, right? Dramatically. So that's what I will say. I just want to know, what fights did you watch at lightweight where you were slipping all the shots and wasn't getting hit and all that? And I just want to know what fights and which lightweight did he make quit? Okay, who is he stopped at lightweight too? Krola? Who is that dude? I don't know who that dude is. You know, I mean, I know who he is, but he, you know, he's not that good at the end of the day. And let me tell you something. Oh, he's gonna knock out Comey in the second round. Said no one. Everybody turned Comey into a bum overnight. And I'll tell you what, right now, Comey is better than any lightweight Lomachenko has beat. And I'll welcome anybody to counter me with that one. I'll invite anybody that would favor any of the guys Loma beat over Comey. I would love to hear that. And I would also love to hear anybody tell me that they're confident that Lomachenko would stop Comey. That fight goes 12 rounds, bro. It goes 12 rounds. And Comey also puts hands on him, just like Pedraza did, just like Campbell did, just like Linares did. There's a pattern here. And now he's facing somebody that hits harder, that's faster, bigger and stronger. Dude, come on. No wonder your voice was trembling. Man. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Man, Reggie, Reggie, you really, Reggie, you really believe that he struggled with Magdaleno? Are you kidding me, bro? He beat the brakes off of Magdaleno, man. You got to go back. You got to get the mind check, bro. He beat the dog shit out of Magdaleno, man. Come on, bro.
No. I ain't saying he struggled against no Magdaleno. He went multiple rounds against Magdaleno. They should have got him out of there much sooner. Magdaleno was food. Nobody special. Zero effects. And y'all hyping that up. And then you talking about Loma ain't stopped nobody at lightweight. I think, wasn't Linares a lightweight? He almost stopped Pedraza, dropping him, coming off shoulder surgery. Then you wanted to deduct what Corolla is. He still knocked him out. What he dropping? What's that dude? Luke Campbell. They have to think deep. They have to think very deep about whether or not they want to go back in there. But not wanting to be one of these no-match-choker fighters, they have to get right back in there.
Reggie,
you going off of this lucky punch sucker youngster. No, I'm about to finish. This lucky punch youngster that got y'all riding on the damn smoke. What y'all putting in this pipe that got y'all riding on this crap? The fool lands one punch and now all of a sudden he arrived. He done got in there with somebody who brought a fight to him, and the Chinese dude, and he turned into a damn chump. I ain't never fighting nobody called.
Japanese, Reggie.
Regardless of what he is, T.O.'s a sucker. And
Reggie, I remember you would say that.
No. Hey, listen. In the first round, when T.O. loads up on that first punch and it lands and does nothing, rip that ticket up.
I remember you would say that after the Nagatani fight, man. And you said Comey was going to beat him up. Hey, man, you saw what happened, bro. I know you know it, man. I know you know it, bro.
That wasn't, Reggie, if you believe that Comey knockout was luck, I got to tell you, man, you're in the wrong boat, because you don't get lucky that many times. You know what I mean? That was timed. He timed Comey, okay, when he was putting pressure on his front foot and his back foot. He timed it, okay? Now, I'll give you this. Lomachenko is more crafty with his footwork than Comey, right? But he always stops in the center and throws combinations every time, okay? He's going to get caught with punches. He's going to get hit in this fight, all right? I'm just going to let you know right now. He's going to get touched up. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to get touched up. He's going to get hit in this fight.
One second, fellas. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge some things here. We've got Cash App from Dre's Finest out there. Salute to Dre's Finest. Also a Cash App from D-Style. Appreciate you, D-Style. And also I want to acknowledge our new subscribers during the show. The message chimes did come up, but I want to acknowledge everybody while people are still in. We had H-Town subscribe, Immortal TK, Malik Omar, and Hotep Shalom, everybody, and Jay Giles, all subscribe to the channel this evening. Much respect to you all. I hope you're enjoying the show. This is a fight weekend show, so I kind of let the panel go at it here, so you can hear guys speak with their passion. So salute to everybody out there that's supporting the channel through the Cash App and subscribing. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Okay, whose floor was it just a moment before I gave the public service announcement?
I just want to say one more thing, because I am telling a lie, I get that, but, you know, at the end of the day, before I go, look, man, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that we have a great fight. And I just want to, before I go, I wanted to talk about 50-50 fights and what that.
Before you go, where you going? Are you running?
I waited for you for 30 minutes, bro. It was an early stoppage, bro, just like the fight. You know what I mean? Here's what it is. Let's get out. Right? Reggie's like that dude that got knocked out. He gets back up, wants to keep fighting, bro. You know? But look, man. Look. 50-50 fights. Like, in all seriousness. First of all, Reggie, you talked about him stopping. I told you 2 weeks ago, right? The only thing Lomachenko's going to stop is traffic on the way to the hospital. He's going to be like, oh, my body hurts, my body aches, and my heart aches. And the doctor's going to tell him, man, I don't got anything for your heart, but we can treat the rest, though. You know what I mean? We can't cure your feelings and your ego, but we could take care of the rest. Right? Look, in all seriousness, 50-50 fights, what are they? A 50-50 fight is not what one person personally believes is a 50-50 fight, right? A 50-50 fight is when you look across the landscape and you look at multiple fight fans and everyone is divided and in many cases sure and certain on what they believe is going to happen, right? And I invite everybody, it's okay to just, you know, pick your dude and go with it. That's what makes boxing fun. That's what, and this is what it's all about. Because everyone's going to feel it. But when both guys when they do the ring walk, and they get in that ring, they get the instructions, a little calm before the storm, right before the bell rings, that feeling you're going to get in the pit of your stomach, that's what boxing's all about. And no other sport really can give you that. And when the fight's over, one man will be beaten. And that's something that very few things in life can give you like boxing can. So that's all I got to say. If Reggie wants to say anything else before I go, then go ahead. But I do got to get going a little bit.
Of course, you just added a rose onto that war paint. That was very, very tamed right there. You put a rose on that war paint on both cheeks.
Let me tell you something, man. The reason I have the roses is to put them in the grave of all the people going for Lomachenko. All right, and that's why I have them. With that said, and I got to get going, guys. Peace out, everybody.
All right, D-Style, thanks for stopping by, bro, and appreciate you, and have a good evening and enjoy the fights this weekend.
Sure.
So, fellas, we're gonna continue to cook on this subject of this fight for this evening. What I would like to do is now throw the conversation toward the more technical aspect of the matchup. We both know that Tio is a more physically imposing guy in this situation, and Loma is a smaller man fighting probably at a weight class that's definitely one weight class too high for himself. But I want to ask you guys, and we can throw it around the panel, what are the technical aspects that favor one over the other? And there are some on both sides. So I just want to swing it back and forth and hear what you have to say about acknowledging what certain fighters do well against the other, or have the potential because of what they do well. and I'll start with G-Funk on that. G-Funk, what do you see both fighters having advantages as going in for tomorrow's matchup with each other?
Well, I would say Lomachenko definitely has the I believe his footwork is better. Obviously, he's got probably the best footwork in boxing right now. I think his defense, I mean, it might be a little bit better, although I think Lomachenko's defense is mostly his legs. He likes to get out of the way of shots. Obviously, he has the experience and the better competition to this point. Lopez, to me, I honestly do think he's a little bit faster. I think Lomachenko, though he punches faster in combination. I think with one quick counter shots, Teofimo is just, man, super quick, man. Obviously, he's got the power and the youth and the size. There's a lot of questions in this fight, man. Like, I don't rule out a possibility that Lomachenko could win this fight. Absolutely not. I'd be silly to say he has no shot at all. One of the big questions in the fight for me is will Teal be able to go a hard 12 with a Lomachenko? Now, he went 12 with the Japanese kid. Sorry, I keep forgetting his name, but that's a different kind of 12 than what Lomachenko will put you through. And the other question for me is, can Lomachenko take the power from Teofimo Lopez? Because I do believe he's going to get hit, man. His defense has been real shaky. He's been getting hit a lot more. Even according to the CompuBox, I was real surprised that ESPN even brought that up during the press conference. That they were like, according to our CompuBox, we're getting hit a lot more. Like, I'm really surprised they brought that up. But I mean, really, we didn't need a CompuBox to know that he's been getting hit a lot more since he's been at lightweight. So I think there's probably about, I don't know. I mean, I give Lomachenko a slight advantage as far as the technical stuff goes, but I mean, it's a close fight, man. If he could take Lopez's power, man, I mean, I'll be amazed, man, if he can. I just don't think he can. He would have to prove that to me, man, in the ring. But and I can't wait for this fight, man. There's a lot of things that could happen here, man. I keep seeing I hear a lot of different predictions, a lot of different outcomes for this fight, because I think it's that damn good,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to acknowledge a couple of more of the Cash App donations. We had Rolling Bell and also Chi-Town's Finest, man. Appreciate it. Underground Asylum. Man, I appreciate everybody, with the Cash App, man. This is a show, and the one thing about the Friday Night Chop Session that Reggie and I, we kind of come in with this, particularly when the Charlo card came up for the Charlo weekend. We're going to make the Friday Night Chop Session, when it's a big fight like tonight, like tomorrow night's fight, we're going to dedicate the show to that. So when you guys speak about your thoughts and we break it down, we want to hype the fight. We want people to get charged up. We want people to be like ready to watch it, because when we take and carry that energy over to the fights, believe it or not, over a period of time, it's going to have that effect and impact on the sport. It really will. Because you think people don't tune in to our shows. Reggie and I have found that people come to flock to the post-fight show because it's like they want to hear what we had to say. They want to hear what we, how we share the information and everything. Because there's not prior to what we do on YouTube and everything, there's not a lot of pulse out there for that unless you know where to go for it. So when we get people in here, we want you to be excited. And if you guys are arguing in the chat about something, as long as nobody is being disrespectful to one another and stuff like that, but we want that energy to be heightened up for the fight, because it's fight weekend. It's just like when you go into NFL Sunday. If you're a football loving person, you want to see the games. You want to see people get smashed up and quarterbacks get sacked and all of that stuff. Well, we have that same passion for the sport of boxing. And I want to bring that question that G Funky was responding to. I want to come back to L Dub. How do you see the advantages of each fighter, the things they do well as opposed to the things they don't do well for both fighters there. Lawrence, what do you have to say on that?
Well, Telefimo, he's a sharpshooter. I like how he counter, in between shots. You know what I'm saying? He got good athletic ability. He haven't really shown his lateral movement like that, but I know he got that in his game because coming up as an amateur, that's what he was known for. And now he just turned to a big puncher. But I think for him to fight, if he can make sure he exchanging with Lomachenko when he throwing those pity pat punches, just to get you keep you active. If he can step with him and punch with that, I think he's gonna cause some problems. And like I said earlier about the shoulder roll defense, like he got to have a reason to use it. In my opinion, I don't like him in it for long stretches of the fight. You know what I'm saying? I like him having that left hand loose and ready to counterpunch because, like I said, when every time when Lomachenko he pivot and angles out, he angles to the left hook side. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be a key punch. Lomachenko, his biggest advantage is his ring presence. He got a ring presence. He got an aura about him. And is it shaky? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We got to see. Teofimo seems like he's not afraid of him and he's willing to challenge that aura. So, and his work rate. He throw a lot of punches, you know what I'm saying, just to make you active, like I said, but he always end that with a left hook to the body, which can be a big factor in this fight. I don't see him hurting Teofimo upstairs, but anything's possible. But I think the left hook to the body is a key punch for Lomachenko, and I think he can't stay in the pocket too long in this fight. He got to treat this guy like he got to believe the hype. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you never felt the power, you don't want to feel that power, especially in between shots. It was a tactic that Linares was doing in that fight, early in that fight in the mid-rounds. He was throwing a crisp right hand down the pipe that was catching him. Now, if we put that on Teofimo throwing that same right hand down the pipe, who is a crisper counterpuncher, and look for that, I think we're gonna have some issues. So I think Lomachenko's this ring presence, what he brings to the table, his activity, you know what I'm saying, I think that's gonna keep him in. I think that's gonna make for a good fight. He's gonna make for a fun fight because I can see his stretches. He gonna let his hands go, and then you can see Teofimo like almost counter him. He might be like an inch off. You know what I'm saying? So man, I love this fight, man. I can't wait for it, man.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And coming back to you now, Reggie, what do you see advantages and disadvantages and what each fighter does well as opposed to what they do not do well heading into tomorrow night?
And this one, the sticking with Tio is the one aspect many people speak about is his power. And I don't know if even with giving him that, I don't know if I can really give him that because power is relative. And it's relative to the person that you face. And we see a lot of guys who power looks very devastating until they start moving up. And so we'll have to see what that power looks like relative to what Lomachenko can take. And also, we may have to see relative to what Teofimo can take. So I'll give him the power rating for now with a question mark on it. And also his youth, but also with his youth, he can't overplay it like Lomachenko's some old guy. Lomachenko's only 32. He's right at the prime of his career. And I won't play into thinking Loma has lost a step or none of that. And looking at some of Loma's fights, Loma's taken a different tactic towards facing these guys in this division. He's been bringing the fight right to these guys rather than needing to avoid them, needing to be all so-called media stated matrix-like. He brings the fight right to these guys without taking a step back, not having to do too much backing up. Less of use of his lateral movement, which he can be very effective at. You've seen him go away with that. Not that he's lost a step. He is taking it away to bring it to these bigger guys, and almost to kind of the aspect of bullying the bigger guys, bring the fight right to them. The one thing I listened to. What's his name? Shakur Stevenson, who's going for Teofimo Lopez and being there out of that same area. Shakur has worries. And the one thing that stood out and the one thing that stands out for me is where is Lomachenko's background? He comes from a dancing background. What is known with dancers, the footwork, their movement, fluidity, their endurance and their ability. And that's going right through his legs. The legs of a fighter is super, super important, and especially for a championship fighter. We always see that. He can take fighters very deep and begin to drown him. That pressure, nonstop pressure. So his legs are just as effective, or his hands are just as effective as his legs. They're both busy. So there's balance right there in how busy the legs are, how busy the hands are, and how busy he is with the movement and shifting around, how he flows through the different little channels on the inside and making fighters miss. The kid is a bad motherfucker. So I give him, sorry about the cussing, but I give Loma that. And also, it's going to come down to the instructions. Can never forget a coach. And that's the instructions going in there. Who knows what if Teofimo's father is ready for this level? And a lot of people speak about the ignorance of his father. So how well does he handle if his son is facing adversity? What does he give to his son? Now, I didn't like what I seen when his son faced adversity against Nagatani. So now he's at this stage. What instructions, what is his father going to see? What adjustments are they going to make? Because he can't just go in here relying on power. And I heard him in this post to the weigh-in speaking about going in here and bullying this guy. Teofimo don't look too much bigger than Lomachenko. Just because you weight some more, weight and strength are two different things. Just because you may outweigh somebody doesn't mean you're necessarily stronger than them. So, and doesn't mean that Lomachenko is going to allow him to be in there to toss him around. This ain't an MMA match. So I want to see if Tio can dig in the bag, pull out some boxing, utilize that jab. And like Lawrence was saying, I said that old shoulder roll stance he stands in, I don't know why a lot of these dudes do it. They picked up on it, looks cool, and they misuse it. He's going to go in here and be in that stance, and he's about to get hit with jabs. Loma's going to take one step over to the right, put that left hook right in range and square up on this dude. So that's the aspects I look at it. So I just want to see where Loma comes from. I mean, not Loma, but Tio has to showcase a little bit of boxing. I don't know. I don't think his range is that much longer than Lomachenko's. There's not that much difference in their physical statures and stuff, but he's going to have to be more effective with his jab. His counterpunching he reminds me of a Danny Garcia with the timing of the counterpunching. And he's a strong puncher like Danny Garcia. He's younger, he can move around, but he's also a guy who stays planted. And you can move a certain direction over to your I got to rewatch Lopez's stance, but you can shift over to the right, and it's a bad direction to try to turn to have. It's a bad direction for Teofimo to move in because it also takes away from his base of being able to throw up on that power. You move over to that direction. Loma's very effective at that, so he can diminish his ability to throw off these power punches, and he ain't gonna be wanting to jump off the ground a little with that left hook like he does. But that's all I got.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge we did get a we did get a Cash App donation for Dahlia Antoinette. Appreciate you, sister. We did get that. I was just letting the guys cook. I wasn't ignoring you. I was just letting the guys cook on that while they were talking. So appreciate the Cash App donation from Dahlia. Yeah, one of the things I want to add for what I see from both fighters, and salute to Black Star Sports TV. I see you out there, family, and we're going to get you on the chop session very soon. Appreciate you being there, bro. These two guys actually have, you know how when you hear people say styles make fights, right? That's an old adage that people have always said and applied to boxing. These two guys' styles mesh. They do. And this is why, I believe that the fight is so hard to handicap, because you look at it one way off the bat. Teofimo is the bigger guy. He's the younger guy. He has athletic gifts and everything that physically it gives him advantages. But just as in the lower weight, you have Gary Russell Jr., right? These fighters who are small in stature, like Vasily, Gary Russell, because they're small men, they're used to fighting bigger dudes. They are. And that is the thing that people are not going to pay attention to here, which is why you can't count Lomo out. He's a smaller guy. He's always been a little dude. Always. but he's had tremendous success in his career being a little dude. Now he's facing a guy, they're in the same weight class, yes, but he's facing a guy that's really a little bit more than those other guys as far as that physicality. But physicality alone does not necessarily win fights. If that's the case, Mike Tyson should be undefeated still. If someone is skillful, if someone is accustomed and has dealt with fighting bigger people before, if they've had to box their way through difficulties, come back from adversity, been knocked down, get off their butt and get back in there and compete, that's a seasoned pro. That's someone who can still be in the game. And at the age of 32, that's prime still. And at the age of 32, you should have a few tricks up your sleeve. Okay? Now, this kid is 23. Do you remember, for those of you who are way beyond 23, and I ain't talking about somebody who's like 28 or 29, but I'm talking about somebody who might be 38 or 39 or 48 or 49 or even 58 and 59. When you were 23, you thought you could do it all. You thought that you could bang all night and slang all night and stay up all night and do whatever all night, and you thought the energy would never end and this and that, right? You just thought the world was your oyster. You thought that you could live and see forever. But you might have met a homie who died. You still here and they gone. And you like, man, he went so young. And then you get older, 10 years later. Man, my best homie, he, at 23, he didn't make it. It's like, he's like, I'm still here. Now you 33, you 43, you 53, and you remember your homie fondly. And you think about how much life you've lived and how much life that person didn't see. It's called seasoning. Okay? And when you get to be 33, 43, 53, 63, you're never gonna think like you thought when you were 23 again. And if you do, something is terribly wrong with you. But the point of making here is this. When you don't have to rely upon physicality, and you could use mentality and psychological. Okay, that's when you become the master of the game. If you all think going into this fight that Vasily Lomachenko don't know the kid can crack, he's seen highlights. He was sitting ringside when he knocked out Comey, I think it was. He was sitting right there ringside. He knows what the kid offers. He knows he's dangerous. What is he going to do? Just walk out there like, he's not dangerous and get hit, get knocked out? No. He will gauge him. He will try to see what he has because he has to know from what distances to work. And there are safe distances in the ring with every opponent. You just got to figure it out with experience. And again, as I was saying, when you look at what both guys have as advantages, they offset one another because their styles mesh perfectly. This comes down to who makes the mistakes. Now, could Vasily make mistakes and get tagged and get put out of there? Absolutely, it could happen. Is it more likely to happen? Not necessarily. But it can happen from if T.O. fights the right kind of fight, meaning he has to set things up. He just can't go in there thinking that I'm going to go out there because I'm bigger and I'm younger and I'm stronger. I'm going to knock this dude out. That makes him cannon fodder for Vasily Lomachenko. And the thing is to be smart. It's called the sweet science for a reason. I said it on other channels and other panels that not always the guy with the biggest punch wins. And this is not to try to dissuade anyone who wants to cast their votes for Tio. But there are things Tio has to do to get the job done. Just like there are things Vasily has to do to take those advantages away from the young upstart. And an experienced seasoned fighter could do that. Will he do it? That remains to be seen. But that's what I have to say about that. You know, this is a great fight with a number of handicaps. I've said it so many times now this week. And it's exciting. It should be exciting. This is what happens when you put quality fighters in with quality fighters. You know what I mean? You would get the same thing if you were to see Gary Russell Jr. in there with Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Or Tank Davis with Devin Haney. You know what I mean? You would get the same kind of feeling because there's a guy you like and there's a guy who he's fighting. You understand? And it's like you want the best for your guy. But the best way to look at boxing is to open your eyes to what has happened before. Because you talk about blueprints, undefeated fighters. A fighter doesn't know anything until he learns from losing and things like that. There's a wealth of history in the past that has taught us a lot of things. Because boxing didn't just start with these two men. But their styles, they mesh very well. And you should definitely see an entertaining and engaging fight. That's what I have to say about that as far as us talking about the X's and the O's. You know what I mean? So, you know, now we can move forward and talk about the ways of victory for either guy can come about. I know it's easy to say the consensus for Tio is a knockout, but I want to swing this question around to everybody on the panel, starting with Reggie. Can Tio win this fight without knocking out Vasily Lomachenko? Reggie, and tell us how and why, if so, and if you don't think he can, tell us how and why not.
And this answers to the how and why, because it's both of them. Because for him to win without the knockout, he's going to have to be an active fighter. He can't be in there counterpunching, looking for the one shot. If it is to be a decision type fight, Loma's way too active of a fighter, way too active of a scorer. He's going to have to be punch for punch with him. It's going to be for Teofimo to let off a higher volume, working more with boxing, taking advantage of the range, the little bit of height he got. I don't think his height or range is that much different, but being youthful, being active in that ring, flowing around, letting the shots go, firing off the jabs, working on the inside. If he's a bigger dude, seeing how well he works on the inside against Loma, make Loma uncomfortable. Try to take something off of the edge of Loma, trim a little bit of that activity off of him. That's going to be just throwing off the punches. Even if you're not able to land something square, punch at those arms. Put a little pain in the arms. Slow him down. He's going to have to find ways of slowing Lomachenko down, working down to the body, getting back off with his shots, just outpointing this guy every round. But that's the only way, and that also adds into why I don't think he'll win, because I don't think he's going to be able to do that. On the Loma side of things, Loma's way of winning, I can see with the box, he's going to be active, so automatically just view the decision for him based on his activity, his movement, changing where the fight is fought at. He ain't one of these guys that just sit in front of a guy. He moves all around that damn ring. You in new countries in that ring where you fight Loma. He moves all around it. So he fights you at every single range, fights you at different heights going in that fight. So that's one of the aspects, and that's what has brought about the success of this dude, and also his work to the body, and that is one of his most effective tools. It ain't just the angles, it's the way that he places these shots on the inside. And a lot of what he does to make a fighter constantly think, because outside him physically working you, he works people mentally. It's a constant movement. It's a constant angle in which he's throwing punches, unorthodox punches. You're seeing them from everywhere, and you're feeling them as well. So him breaking the fighter down from the mental aspect, that's why so many of these guys have quit in fights against him, and also what they're being hit with. That's why you see these guys all at 135. He didn't set every single person he didn't fought at 135 on the canvas. He didn't put all of them down. And it's through the use of that body shot. And when he finds a guy who is almost out, he knows exactly. He knows when to keep it calm, when to box it, and he also knows when to step on the gas and turn it up. And that's effective with this guy. And he has the ability to take you deep and stop you. And that's the thing about where I don't buy into him being that small of a guy, because every single person at 135, he is sat down and he also knocked one of them out. But that's how I view it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Going to come right back to L Dub. What are your thoughts on that question that I posed for Reggie?
Yeah, I think Teofimo can win a decision, but he have to do stuff that we haven't seen. Like I said, the lateral movement, and you know what I'm saying. I think that's a big key because Linares was having a lot of success in that fight, and that fight was close. You know what I'm saying. I think Lomachenko has to be active with his jab. That sets the table for everything you do in boxing. He gotta be active with the jab, and because he already know, you know, he gotta be wary of the punch power. So that's going to keep Lomachenko kind of at home, or kind of keep him thinking a little bit. So I think he can be active. I seen fights like in the beginning of the Pedraza fight, Lomachenko, when Pedraza was throwing a lot of punches, Lomachenko was just, you know, putting the high guard up, just watching. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really doing nothing, and that's not really effective. You know, he wasn't doing nothing really effective, but it keeps you at home and it can keep you more active. And sometimes the judges can give you that round. So I think if Teofimo is more active with his punches, you know what I'm saying, and he get that jab going and work the body, I think he could win a decision. You know what I'm saying? And because he's gonna always be in range to sharpshoot. And as far as Lomachenko getting the stoppage late, you know, I think he can get the stoppage late too. You know what I'm saying? I think this fight can play out so many different ways because it's a 50-50 type of fight. So you can see it a lot of different ways. It just all depends on the intangibles in the fight. You know what I'm saying? The game plan, like I said, how Teofimo going to react to the aura of Lomachenko. So, like I said, down the stretch, and all his fights to lightweights, other than Corolla, Lomachenko got that second gear. I call it a championship gear. He turns it up. Y'all can go back and watch those later rounds. And Linares, Campbell, and Pedraza, he turned it up, get knockdowns, and end up, you know, securing the victory. I think he can do that and turn up and stop this kid. It depends how tired he is. So, like I said, it all plays hand in hand. If Teofimo coming out throwing a lot of punches and he get tired with that big, you know, physical physique, you know what I'm saying? It's you know, he can tire down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? We seen him fight Nakatani, but that was a different type of fight right there because he was just sitting in the pocket, countering him all night. So if he got to work, and then if Lomachenko can take him to the back half of the fight while he's already you know, let off his load and whatnot, I think he can stop him. He could stop him with a body shot. So I mean, that's why we love this fight, man, because it's so much ifs, ands, and buts. You know what I'm saying? If he do this, he can do this. And that's why we're in for a treat tomorrow, man. I suggest everybody make sure y'all tune in, get y'all popcorn ready. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got your food order, all that good stuff, man, because it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Yes, sir. That's good stuff, man. And I liked how you mentioned the fact, like, he has to do some things that we haven't seen before. See, that's what I really love about Lawrence Williams, man, because he has that analytical mind as well when it comes to breaking these fights down. And he's seeing these things like almost like a coach see him, you know. And just that doesn't mean only him. I'm just giving him some credit for what he was saying at the moment. But it does take setting things up. It can happen if he works behind the technique and skill set that can be there for him. We don't know if it's there because we haven't seen him use it, but it would have to be something that he would have to apply that we haven't seen to win a decision. And I'll tell you something. That should be secretly their game plan. Their game plan should not be to go in there trying to knock this man out. Their game plan should be secretly to try to win a unanimous decision. Not just get to the final bell, but a unanimous decision. And I can elaborate on that more, but I want to go to G-Funk real quick to get G-Funk's take on this. G-Funk, do you think that T.O. can win a decision? And if so, why? And if not, why?
I do think he can win a decision. I don't think it's crazy to think that or to see that happen. Just like I don't think it would be out of this world if Lomachenko happened to stop Lopez. I don't think that's crazy either. I think those are probably the least likely to happen in this fight. But you know, I don't see it crazy to think that he could win. You know, the more and more I think about this fight, and the more and more that I talk to different people and get different opinions about it, and that's the beauty of boxing, man. And that's why I love coming around and talking with everybody, man, because we all have different opinions on and stuff like that. But the more and more I listen to other people talk about the fight and stuff, the more it makes me think about other fights that I think are similar. Like, to me, this thing could be like, if Teal is to win on points, it could look similar to the Marquez and Pacquiao fights, because if you look at those fights again, I mean, I remember going into those fights, Pacquiao's, he's much faster, the footwork, the angles and things like that. And, you know, Marquez is slow. He's flat-footed. Like, I'm hearing a lot of these things about Teal, not that he's slow, but at least that he's flat-footed and things like that. He doesn't have good legs, but I believe he does have good legs. He has good balance. I believe he's able to get in and out quickly. He just doesn't move the way that Lomachenko does. But I think that going back to the Marquez and Pacquiao, you know, Marquez was able to figure out those angles that Pacquiao was giving him. You know, at some point, these guys can come in, you know, and do all these fancy moves all they want. But guess what? At some point, you're going to have to stop and try to land something. And that's when Marquez was able to land big right hands on Pacquiao. Same thing with Lomachenko against these guys like Pedraza, Linares, and Campbell. When he got in the pocket in the mid-range and fired off those shots, because that's where he's going to have to do it, those guys were able to time him with shots and land pretty cleanly. So I think the way that he could win by hitting him with big shots like that coming in. You know, like I said, I think he's going to knock him out, because I don't think that Lomachenko can handle the power. But if he can, let's just say, you know, he doesn't knock Lomachenko out. Maybe he can knock him down a couple of times, you know, win a few rounds early or something like that. And then we go to the scorecards. I mean, you just never know at that point. You know, I mean, we all know boxing. So, you know, I don't rule out a decision at all, but I think he can find ways to land those shots on Lomachenko. I mean, other guys have been able to do it. I think this kid's fast enough, and he's got great timing with that right hand. So I think he can win a decision, man. I don't think it's crazy, but I think it's probably the least likely scenario for him to win is on decision.
Now, I'm glad that you said what you said, G-Funk, because you brought up a fight that many people forget. The first fight that took place between Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez was a tremendous example of what I think we're going to see here, because remember, their styles mesh very well. Those guys fought 4 times, and I do think that Marquez won 2 of those fights outside of knocking out Pacquiao. So I think he won 3 times. But the first fight, he was down 3 times in the first round, right? And he got up to basically win the rest of the fight, and they gave Pacquiao the decision. But that is the way that these guys' styles mesh as well. It could easily be something similar. That's what makes it so intriguing. If you give in to just thinking one way, and as G Funky said, you know, the more you talk to people and you listen to what they have to say, there are definitely points of contention to take into consideration. You look at it and you're like, yeah, I could see that. But see, that's what I was trying to say earlier when I said there are so many layers here that when you peel them back, But it's also why I favor Lomachenko, because at 32, he's seen a little bit more than Tio has, you see. But that doesn't mean that Tio isn't ready to get to that level. We just have to see it. The fight has to take place, and when the fight is over, we will know. But right now, there's nothing definitive. And for the men that he's beaten already, I personally don't think he's been put in a position to really be challenged. He's been so much gifted and better than the guys he's been put in with. You know, that's not his fault, and that's not an Achilles. I'm just saying this is the first fight where we will see that he's being challenged. And he's being challenged by a guy. This guy, for as much as you might not like Vasily or whatever, he's going to fight. And he's going to try to win. And he has some guile and some tricks that he can pull out, you know, and that's something to take into consideration. It's just like, you know, if anybody ever saw that fight that took place, there was a viral video that went out a few years ago about an old Army, Navy, whatever veteran on a bus, and the guy was talking crap to him, and he tried to start a fight with the old man. And that old man lit him up and then got off the bus. And the guy didn't know that old man was going to put hands on him like that. Left him busted up in the nose and mouth. And it was all filmed by somebody on their phone, right? They filmed the altercation. But the guy, the younger guy, was talking crap to that old man. And he was talking about what he was going to do to him and this and that. And the old man let loose on him. In other words, the old man wasn't talking about it. He was being about it. And he didn't get to be the age he was by allowing somebody like that younger guy say what he say and then come after him too. No, he put an end to that. And he got on off the bus too, because he knew maybe somebody's going to call the police or something. He got the hell off the bus. Went on about his business. You know what I'm saying? That was that guy that said, oh, I need an ambulance after that. He took a beating on the bus. Shouldn't have messed with that old man to begin with. What's the old saying? Respect your elders. Tio better respect what Lomo might be able to do. Just because he ain't bombed people out like Tio has, he better be careful. And that's not a threat. That's advice. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, one more question for you guys to throw it around, and then I guess we can wrap it up. This question is this. I know we gave credence to, you know, if a guy can win like this, but this question is for everybody, and we'll start off with L-Dub. Can Lomachenko win this fight by knockout?
Yeah, I think he can. I think it all depends on, you know, it all depends on what Tio brings to the table. Tio is real active and he getting tired late in the fight, because it's like I said, it's different when you fighting just a regular fighter and you go 12 rounds instead of a guy with Lomachenko. He brings so much presence in the ring. He got a big ring presence, and that can sap your energy right there. So I love Lomachenko's body shots. He throw a lot of punches up top, with fast punches, but he always finishes with a left hook to the body. And I think that's the key. That's the key punch. Now he could surprise us. You know what I'm saying? Because he said he want to punish this kid. So what if he going to step to him and, you know what I'm saying, is going to let his hands go and throw a lot of good shots upstairs and downstairs? Then we can have some going. So I think the conventional wisdom is he can stop him to the body late, and when he turned up his second gear. So I think he can get a stoppage in this fight, but I think it's more so, I would lean more so towards a unanimous decision for Lomachenko.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Good stuff. G Funky, what do you think? Can Lomachenko win this fight by knockout?
I don't think it's crazy to think that at all, or that he could. Yeah, I just mentioned, you know, a few minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, if Lopez can't go that hard 12, at that pace that Lomachenko likes to push, then it could be a situation where he succumbs to the pressure. I think that, we've all said it already, the kid's much younger, so he should have plenty of damn legs and, he shouldn't be getting tired. But we never know until the fight happens. I think that's probably the most likely scenario of it happening that way. I don't think it will be like from a one punch and Teofimo's like stretched out on the ground or something like that. I think Loma will try to take him into deep waters. And, he kind of hinted at that today after the weigh-in where he said, I wanted to go 12. I want to stretch this kid out over 12 rounds. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's a possibility, but I think it's it's the least likely situation to happen.
Okay. Reggie, coming to you now. Can Lomachenko win this fight by knockout? And if so, how?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the ways I see this fight going. Late round stoppage, body shot. Definitely see him being able to stop him down to the body. Just fatiguing Teofimo, taking him very deep in the fight after having to dig very deep, having to put out a lot of volume. It's possible for Loma to go and attack him down to the body and effectively stopping this guy. And also when he's opened up to the body, he opens the head up as well, firing off the big head shots. And also, there's a possibility, who knows? There's a possibility because over-aggressive fighters are always susceptible to getting stopped and getting hit with something. And Tio over pursuing something, leave yourself open, it's possible to get caught on the button as well. But I think later in the fight, I see Tio being stopped with body shots. I see him folding up possibly, and that's the way I see him going down is by TKO stoppage. Just multitude of body shots, leaving himself open, taking shots to the head, forcing the ref to come in there and stop it. Because he didn't woke up a beast. All that unnecessary talking he's been doing, it is possibly going to awaken something that if he would have stayed quiet, may not have seen come out of Lomachenko going in this fight.
Yes, sir. Well, it really remains to be seen, but tomorrow night we will get the answers to these questions and more. It has been an exciting show. We've talked about it, we've laughed, we've made some fine points and fine counterpoints, man. I want to say salute to each and every one of you, including D-Style Boxing, who's already left off for the evening, for joining me for this evening's show, man. I really respect everybody out there in the chat that donated to the Cash App. Salute to you all. Appreciate you, family. My new subscribers that subscribe to the channel this evening. I think I ran off the names of everybody I was able to see on the list for this evening. It's been a great show. I want to toss the mic around now and give you guys a chance to give your final words for the evening. And for everybody that's going to watch the fight tomorrow, please come back to the Stormybman channel for the post-fight when the show is over. Reggie and I will be doing a post-fight on tomorrow night's event. G Funky, let's hear your final words and tell everybody where they can follow you, man.
Yeah, this was great, Stormy. It's been an exciting week. I've talked about this fight already 3 times this week on YouTube. So actually, I should say 4, including my own prediction that I dropped this week. But, I can't help it, man. I'm super pumped about this fight. And
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing that you know what I mean? Because that's what I was talking about earlier about us giving the energy to the fight. We want it to be a great event. And that's how we should do it. As we get to the end, just build it and build it and build it and allow ourselves to get worked up. So we anticipate and just sit there and be ready. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead.
No, I agree, man. I agree. But at the end of the day, we keep it boxing here, man. We might disagree, I know there's some people in the chat getting a little excited, taking some shots at me because, things are getting a little heated here on the panel. But that's the way it gets, man, with boxing fans. Stormy B, Reggie, and I, we've done a lot of shows together, man. This is nothing new for us, man. So, I love it, man. But I'm standing on my square. We're on the eve of the fight. I'm taking Teofimo Lopez by knockout. I think he's got the tools to catch this guy with something big, man. And I don't think Loma's going to be able to handle it. So I see him going to sleep in this fight. And if I'm wrong, guess what? I'm always back. I've been on YouTube for 10 years now. So if you guys want to subscribe, G Funky Boxing, right here on YouTube. Thanks again, Stormy, for having me on, man. I'm going to head out. I'm going to spend some time with the familia before it gets late and bedtime. So I will see you guys after the fight, man. You guys enjoy it, man.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, bro. And you're always welcome here on the channel, man. Always welcome. L-Dub, finally got you on here for a chop session, man. Next stop is In the Eye of the Storm, but really appreciate you being able to be with us this evening. What are your final thoughts, and let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to talk on your platform about boxing. I really appreciate it. Salute to the panel. You know what I'm saying? It was very entertaining. The chat, salute to the chat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was keeping it 100 in the chat. You can follow me on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's Lawrence Williams, but I'm going to drop in the chat if that's okay with you. It's the link in the chat if you guys want to follow me. I just talk boxing, man. Y'all see me around in these chats, boxing chats, man. Y'all see the knowledge. I just love to talk boxing. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I can get a good conversation about boxing, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually in the chat, in Stormybman's chat in class. So this time I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I was teaching a little bit, so I feel good about that. So, it's just boxing, man. It's just a sport I love. Got goosebumps right now because I love the sport of boxing. I can't wait till tomorrow. I think it's going to be an excellent fight. It's an excellent event, and it's free. It's free on TV, so we don't got to come out them pockets. So, just thank you for the opportunity once again. You know what I'm saying? And I hope I'll be back for another one.
Absolutely, man. You're welcome, man. You're part of the family. I'm part of your family, man. You're welcome here. It just took us a moment to get to this point where we could get everything hooked up. Now you see how easy it is, dude. It's home cooking now. So don't be surprised when I be hitting you up and say, hey, man, you got to get on here with me and Reggie, man. We got some stuff. So you're welcome, man. And I'm glad that you finally made it on.
All right, I appreciate that, Stormy. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome. Reggie, what are your final thoughts, man? And let everybody know. I think you calling the fight, right? So let everybody know what's going on with that.
Oh, yes, indeed, man. Another great show, man. Got Lawrence Williams in the show. Got the brothers D-Style, G-Funky, and of course the OG. Great show, man. I enjoyed myself, man. Wish I could have got on at the start. But yeah, I will call the fights tomorrow on my backup channel because I'm always doing ish on YouTube to get strikes. So I'll be on my backup channel at Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens is just a 2 at the end for the backup. But can't wait for these dang fights, and I can't wait for that post fight tomorrow. So we see the result of it and we talk about it, break it down. So make sure y'all come back through and check out the post-fight show at Following the Fights. But that's all I got.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for any of you that are interested, tomorrow afternoon, Stormybman will be doing a In the Eye of the Storm, where we're featuring former WBA heavyweight champion Mike Hercules Weaver. And we're going to chop it up with the champ. And he's going to let us know what's going on with him now. And he's going to give us some recollections on his fights that were very famous. John Tate, Larry Holmes, Pinklin Thomas. He had a really stellar career, man. Had a lot going on. Hercules was something else, man. And they called him Hercules because he was one of the most physically imposing heavyweights of his era, man. Muscles everywhere and a huge left hook, man. And a pretty decent chin. Even though he hit the canvas a few times, Mike Hercules was something else, man. He was a formidable fighter out there, man. So we'll be chopping it up in the eye of the storm with him tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time. So that's what's going on with that. And for Stormy B Man, my man Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, and the rest of our guests who are out there in the chat and the panel, Lawrence Williams, G-Funk Edit 4, and D-Style Boxing, man. We're going to be signing off now. Hope everybody enjoy these fights tomorrow night. And we'll be back, like I said, for the post-fight show. And we're looking forward to it. This is great to be able to talk boxing and be out here and come together as a family and enjoy these streams and everything. It's a great thing, man. So we're just excited, and we want to produce for you guys. So that's going to be it for us this evening. Peace to everybody. Have a good night. And guys, if you want to hang on for a moment, just let me close things out. Just mute your mics a second, and I got a couple things I want to say to you.